everyone, so today I am 31 weeks and 1 day pregnant. I'm absolutely exhausted. It's a really hot day. I had to pop to town to get the rest of the bits that we need for our holiday next week, and I suggested to Courtney that maybe when we get back we could go to the beach. Like, we live in Southsea and literally the beach is 5 minutes walk down the road. It's not far at all. But she wasn't interested in going to the beach. So the main thing I've been experiencing this week, or at least over the last few days, is a lot of Braxton Hicks contractions. And they're not painful, but I can really feel them. You can really feel the tightening and at times even feel a little bit of pressure down below and stuff. So lots and lots of Braxton Hicks. Obviously no pain with them as such, a little bit of backache at times, but that's mostly if I'm sort of sat on the sofa and I'm kind of slouched on the sofa. I remember with Brett and Courtney, literally as soon as I got to like 30 weeks, you know, I wouldn't sit on the sofa anymore. I'd sit and watch TV on the evening on my birthing ball. But I haven't bought one this time. Other than that, I'm feeling quite good. I'm feeling a bit more energetic at the moment. I don't know if that's just where I'm looking forward to getting away and getting out of these four walls for a week. Although I did feel quite like I'm going to go to town, get the last bits that we need. We're going to go and get some food shopping tomorrow, and then, you know, carrying the bags on the way home just killed me. So I couldn't wait to get home and have a corned beef sandwich, which is one of my sort of latest cravings, is corned beef sandwich with usually a packet of Monster Munch, either flaming hot or pickled onion, whichever I happen to have. Today I had flaming hot, so even though my fingers still smell a bit spicy. I think with this pregnancy I've been through the most amount of cravings that I've ever had in any of my pregnancies. For the first 3 months it was salmon sandwiches or tuna sandwiches, anything sort of fishy. And then I had a double-decker phase where every evening I'd have a cup of tea and dunk a double-decker in it, and it was just lovely. You bite into it and the tea melts it and the nougat just kind of melts in your mouth, and then you get the crunchiness of the biscuit on the bottom. So that was another favourite of mine. So yeah, I sat with my husband a while back, just, I don't know what we were eating, and I just sort of said, oh, I've eaten a lot of lovely food during this pregnancy. So, and I've been lucky. I've only gained, I weighed myself yesterday in fact, and I've gained a stone so far. But I did lose half a stone in my first trimester. So that's a stone gained from where I was at my lowest during the first trimester. So that's, you know, not too bad going for 31 weeks, I think. So I did tell you that I'd obviously explain a bit more about my baby's kidneys, and seeing as I haven't really got a lot else to report this week, I'll go into that a bit now. Basically, at my 20-week scan, I had a scan at 13 weeks, that was all fine. The 20-week scan, it was right at the end of the scan. She'd done the thorough looking all over, checking the baby all over, and she just said to me, is there any kidney problems in your family? And as soon as she said it, I knew what she was going to say, basically. A little bit of background. My nephew, my sister's little boy, who is just turned 6, when my sister had her 20-week scan with him, they picked up that he had enlarged kidneys. I think it was just one, actually. One of his kidneys was enlarged. And then when he was born, he had to have a couple of scans, and it turned out he had polycystic kidney disease on one kidney. And as a result of that, because it's a hereditary disease, we were recommended that anyone in the family over 18 also get scanned. So my mum and my sister got scanned, and then they both had it. My nan, even though she's never been checked out for that specifically, she has actually got kidney failure now. She's in her 80s, she's had a really long, great life, really long active life, but she has got kidney failure. She's been offered a transplant, but she doesn't want to take it because she believes that, you know, a kidney should go to someone younger. you know, has got their full life ahead of them. She'd rather have her dialysis weekly and sort of muddle on like that. So Louis, my nephew, he doesn't have any health problems whatsoever. He's perfectly normal, healthy 6-year-old. I think he has to have scans every year or every other year to check on his kidneys. The last one that he had was about a week before I had my scan actually, and they did say that it was deteriorating a little bit, but it's such a slow process, and now it might be affecting his other kidney, but it's such a slow process. Basically, most of the time it doesn't affect you until later in life. It can affect you earlier, but most of the time it doesn't affect you until you're maybe sort of in the 30 to 60 year age group. Now that's the other scary thing. When we first got told that the baby might have polycystic kidneys, basically what they said was that kidneys look bright, they look bright and enlarged. That's what they said, and that's what it says in my notes. And they told us that this was a possibility, but they didn't really tell us a lot else. I remember Stuart had gone to, because we were due to pick Lucy up from school, Stuart had gone to ring our friend to ask if she could pick up Lucy for us, because we were running a little bit late at the hospital. The lady had come out and called me into the room, the little room that they take to one side for bad news, basically, the bad news room, and said to me, do you know anything about it? And I sort of said, only, what I know about my nephew, and as far as I know, he doesn't have any health problems, etc. All she said was, it can be quite serious and it can cause blood in the urine, and there was all this that she said, but it was just sort of ifs and buts, and she didn't really tell me anything about the condition. I sort of said, okay, I kind of know what it is, but I don't really know what it is. And she said, I'll go and get you a printout. And she went, and then she came back and she said, the computer's broken. And in her words, she said, you'll have to look it up when you get home, you'll have to Google it. So obviously we've gone home and done that. In the meantime, we'd been referred to Southampton Hospital, because that's where most of the specialists in that sort of field are. And in the meantime, we'd gone home and looked it up, and basically if you type in the symptoms, the first thing that comes up is APKD, which is basically the infantile version of polycystic kidney disease. And if you were to go by what we have read, it's the one that's most commonly found when you're pregnant, basically, at your 20-week scan, and it's also the most it's the worst form, and it's the one that's most likely to be really serious and most of the time is fatal. So we've looked it up, and obviously it scared the life out of us. We did read about the other one as well, the APKD, which is the adult version, which, as I said, doesn't usually affect you until later in life. But all I could think of was at the back of my mind, I was thinking, it's going to be the other version that our baby's got, it's going to be the other version. And, basically, most babies with that condition do die within a few hours after they're born because their kidneys fail. So obviously I was all upset and terrified, and, we kind of felt like we were in limbo for a bit in between those two appointments that were a few weeks apart, because we didn't know what was happening. We went for our appointment at Southampton Princess Anne Hospital. They did a detailed scan of the baby. They checked over not only the kidneys, they checked over everything. It was a really detailed scan. It took about half an hour. Oh, my leg's cramping up. Then the kidney consultant came in. It might have been the second time, actually. We've been there so often now, I'm losing track. Anyway, when we spoke to the actual kidney consultant, she said that she wasn't at all worried about our baby. She said if I was worried that the baby was going to be really ill when it's born, then I would tell you, I'd let you know. She said, I'm perfectly happy for you to have the baby in Portsmouth, at Portsmouth Hospital, which I'm very happy about, because my labours have been so short, and I would dread going all the way to Southampton, which takes 20-25 minutes to drive there, in the throes of labour. So she said, we're perfectly happy for you to have your baby in Portsmouth. We'll liaise with them from there. She gave us a little write-out sheet of basically what the condition is and what the prognosis was, I suppose. And you know, she talked us through everything. She drew us all these little diagrams and told us that basically the cysts on the kidneys can possibly cause the kidneys to leak protein. So the baby will be scanned after he or she is born, and then have yearly checks for protein and blood pressure checks. That's the other thing, it can cause high blood pressure. So I need to have my blood pressure closely monitored, which mine's always really low, so that's good. And the baby, once it's born, will need its blood pressure monitored. The consultant also did recommend that our other children sort of get under the consultant as well, so that they can have regular checks, because obviously scanning now is more detailed than it was even, you know, 12 years ago when 13 nearly years ago now when I had Brett. So, you know, I think back when I had Brett and Courtney, you had one scan at 16 weeks, and it wasn't until a couple of years after that they changed it to the 12 and 20 weeks that is more common most other places. Lucy did have detailed scans, and she's 9 months younger than Louis, so I think that if she had it, I think that would have been picked up as well. But it doesn't hurt just to get regular checks. It's just basically a urine test and blood pressure check. So we're perfectly happy for them to go ahead with that, to check the others. They said there's no point scanning as such, because you could scan anyone and you'd find something wrong. If you did a detailed scan of anyone's organs, you'd find some sort of anomaly. So they're happy for me to, you know, carry on normal with the pregnancy. The baby will be obviously observed a little bit after he or she is born. We'll go back, I think in like a week later they have to check the kidneys, and then again 3 months when the baby's 3 months, and just to check the growth. And then, like I said, regular blood pressure checks and protein checks annually. The other thing they did say was that sometimes if the kidneys do enlarge quite a lot, it can cause the abdomen to, you know, be bigger. And our baby's measurement on the abdomen is a little bit big. It's just over the line. You know, you have the little line, and you have the lines either side, the line in the middle, and you have like the measurement of how in the line they are, I suppose. It's just outside that, so baby's going to have a lovely little fat tummy. So but other than that, the kidneys haven't grown any more in the pregnancy. I've got another scan at 33 weeks, which would be the week after we get back off holiday, the week after next. Again, just to check things over. That should be, I probably won't have to have any more scans after that. And then hopefully everything will go smoothly until the baby's born, and yeah, we'll see after that. But it was definitely a relief to hear that, you know, they're not worried about the baby, they're not worried that it's going to have any immediate health problems. Okay, so that about wraps that up. I've just about got time for a little bump shot for you guys. I am wearing a maxi dress. Stuart's home. So I'll just do a quick bump shot for you guys, and then I'm going to need to go and do some dinner for everyone. So this is 31 weeks. Not really grown a lot since last week, I don't think. Sort of look different sizes in all my different clothes, depending on what I'm wearing, so. Yep. 31 weeks. And 1 day. Next week we will be on holiday, so I will probably do a 32 and 33 week update the following week, because it'll just be easier rather than doing 2 videos right close together in the same week. I'll do them separately. In the meantime, take care, and I will speak to you soon. Bye guys.